The craziest story of my life as an entrepreneur, I wish it was as easy as everyone wish entrepreneurship could be like. But it was back when I was starting up in business, and it was when I used to stay with my sister. I think this was most probably the seventh business that I was starting up. So I had a couple of blunders, that I had done, but I think this is my definite biggest blunder. And I think when I was still staying with my sister, I had attempted a couple of businesses, but this one main business takes the cup for me, because really what I had believed then was that I could easily become a millionaire. I think one time I was watching a documentary, and then this documentary was basically talking about how recycling is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I was so inspired by it because I thought that I could basically become a millionaire, overnight, how I could convert trash into treasure, and how I could convert trash into money. And at that particular time, I was working at a shop called Shoe City. And I remember going back to the office or to the shop and saying to them, to my manager, can you please keep these boxes for me? I want to keep them, I want to sell them. And then, my business grew bigger than what I thought it would be when I was not even ready to, because then I moved from my shop to, other shops. The whole mall, basically, I was ready to take their boxes, because my main focus when I started was I wanted to do boxes. And I remember that really what happened then was that I didn't even have a car or a parky to basically collect these boxes and, take them into my house. So because I was staying with my sister, then every evening I had a friend that would come and collect these boxes for me. I would ask my sister to leave work, after work, to come and collect the boxes at the mall. Interesting enough, there was a lot that was happening that I was not too sure as to how I was going to manage it, because I started going to printing shops. At the printing shops, they were keeping boxes and calling me, Sanel, why are you not coming to pick up these boxes? But I couldn't go because I didn't have a car. I remember one time I was riding a bicycle and I was carrying boxes, because I was so driven, and I was like, you know what, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be successful. What is it that I can do? And then when I did my research on this recycling business, I realized also bottles had money. You can recycle bottles. I went to the clubs around the area. I started saying to them they must keep these bottles for me. And again, I didn't have the resources of running this business, but I was already fired up to say I'm running this business. And interesting enough, my sister had two garages. The one garage was basically my factory, where I would keep these boxes, and the one side was for her car. And then every morning, as she leaves for work, she would always ask me, Sanel, why are you bringing rats? You want to, bring rats into my house and whatnot. And I used to say to her, you must just watch a millionaire being built in front of your eyes. Because I was so confident. I was like, this is my ticket to being a millionaire. I failed in almost 6 businesses. This is my 7th business, and I'm going to make sure this one goes well. To cut a long story short as well is that then there was a time then that came that I needed to buy a parky. I had worked at this shop, and then I had saved up, and all I thought I needed was a parky. So what I did is I wrote a paper, and then I went around the mall. This paper was written, hi, my name is Sanele, and there was a theory that I had heard that says everyone who's driving a car, they are either broke or they need funding or they need money. So everyone who was driving a car was in debt and they needed cash. So I wrote this paper, hi, my name is Sanele, I've got 25,000 rand cash. And then I went around the mall and I made copies. Then I went around the mall putting it in parkies, because all I was looking for was just a parky to make my business work. So I was putting it there. And I was so excited thinking someone is going to call me. One day, really someone calls and is like, hi. And then you can hear it's a white guy. Hi, Sanele, is this Zulu? And I'm like, yes, I'm excited. I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to get my parky. Guess what? This guy says, Zulu, you left a note in front of my car on my window. And I see you want to buy my parky. I say, yes, sir. Then he asked me, Sanele, do you know what parky was this that you left at? I'm like, no, sir, I'm not sure, because I left it on too many parkies, so I'm not sure. Says, my friend, you left a note on a Toyota Hilux that cost about 500,000, and you want me to sell it to you for 25,000 rand. Are you crazy? Are you mad? And then I felt like I had done this wrong thing and I'm apologizing. I'm like, no, I'm so sorry, sir. He's like, you must be crazy, man. And then he drops the call. I'm like, yo. But anyways, then the word goes around the Centurion Mall and mall to say there's this young guy who's looking for a bakkie. Then there was a guy who sold me his bakkie. It was the most troublesome bakkie I've ever had. Troublesome car I've ever had. Because that thing, I would push it as I go on, and I would push it towards, towards the car, towards the house, towards the where we were collecting the boxes. But then the day came when really I had so many boxes and so much boxes by my house that I was thinking, if I could just sell these boxes, I was going to make $1 million. We took these boxes, we packed them up. My bakkie was so full. I had almost collected these boxes for about 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. 6 months to about a year. So it was a lot of boxes. We put on these boxes, we plugged the trailer onto my bakkie, my troublesome bakkie. We went to Mondi where they used to sell this thing. We get there, they weigh the car with the boxes, they weigh the car without the boxes. Then they come towards me and I'm excited, I'm thinking. And by the way, the morning when I left my house, I said to my sister, today is your day when you see and meet a millionaire. And when I come back, just get ready because you want to get your 100,000. I get there, they weigh the boxes, they weigh the car with the boxes, they weigh the car without the boxes. Some old lady comes to me and she gives me the slip. The most, I think, exciting moment, because for me, I'm thinking at this particular time that, right now, I'm about to see $1 million and I'm about to go collect my $1 million. And to my surprise and to my shock, it was only about 180 rands. 180 rands. And I'm thinking to myself, how did that just happen? I've spent so much time. I've spent so much money. Even the petrol I used to go sell these boxes was worth more than what I have just made. And then the way this lady was so normal, I was like, no, this can't be normal. I remember going back and asking them, guys, what does this mean? Was this a mistake? Was it supposed to be 1.8 million? Was it supposed to be 180,000? Why is it so little? Why is the money so little? And then they said, no, son, this is your boxes. The boxes are just worth exactly this much. And I remember going back home thinking to myself, this must have been literally the toughest time of my life. If I've ever thought of, doing the craziest thing, hurting myself, giving up, I think that one time was the most devastating time for me, because I had spent so much time telling people that I will be successful, I will make it, and guess what? It failed. It was just a failure, because even the boxes that were left at home were less, and I could think that they were even going to be less than the 180 rands than I had made. And right there, I made the biggest loss. I had invested so much money, and to be exact, almost maybe about 150,000, because I had bought a car, I had invested in buying a trailer. I had basically just invested a lot into this business and trying to make it work, but it never worked. And that's exactly what I think for me was the toughest part. And the feeling was really not the greatest feeling, because it was one of those feelings where you say, I've tried everything. And in our culture, they say, maybe you have not done something right. You need to go back and consult your ancestors. This is the 7th business I'm failing in. So of course, at that particular time, there's nothing that is nice. There's no great feeling. It's all a feeling of disappointment, a feeling of loss, a feeling of being shut out and shut down. And I just felt like the world was coming down at me, because the one business which I thought was going to be success literally failed. So as they would say, that for every great loss, for every great pain, for every great and biggest challenge, there's always lessons, and I think for me there's been great lessons that I took out of my story, and some of them are lessons that are helping me now today in my businesses. Those are the lessons I share with people, but one of them is to find a mentor. One of the greatest lessons for me in business is to say, you have to find a strong mentor. You must find a mentor, because as I was driving back home, so disappointed, feeling shutted out or shut down, I realized that everything that I had been attempting in my businesses, I had never had a mentor. I had never had someone who guides me, whom I can have as my sounding board. Because the saddest thing about ideas and entrepreneurship is that you always believe that your idea is the best idea in the world. You always believe that it will make the biggest or the highest amount of money, until you have someone whom you can use as your sounding board, someone whom you can use as someone who can help you or guide you. It will help, because I had never even worked for a recycling company. Hence why my assumptions was that out of boxes collected in 6 months, I could make $1 million. So that's the first lesson. First lesson for me was I needed to find a mentor. I had to find a mentor because it was an urgent thing now. I cannot keep on failing again and again. 2, for me, was research. The greatest lesson I learned was that in any business, if you do not do thorough research, you are bound to make a blunder. You are bound to fail. You are bound. Because research helps you to say you understand what the business is about. Remember, with me, I had no idea. I had just watched one documentary, and all I was excited about was to start. And sometimes the biggest blunder again could be a lack of patience as the third lesson. To say, I lacked patience, because all I wanted to do was to start. I saw myself as a multi-millionaire. I saw myself as reaching success, but I was not patient enough to make this business work, to learn in this business. And then the fourth lesson for me is learn as much as you can. Learn as much as you can. Don't rush to start, because I say to people that the moment you think you know it all is the moment you lose it all. And guess what? I lost it all, because that was my biggest blunder. I thought I knew it all. I thought I was ready to run this business in a successful way. I thought I was ready to be a millionaire, to make money and, change my life, my sister, my family. I used to wake up every morning with my sister saying, I'm going to bring rats into a house, with my boxes. And I would say to her, no, relax. Watch a millionaire being built in front of your eyes. The confidence was good, but the confidence was not backed up by knowledge. The confidence was backed up by passion. And sometimes we confuse the two. And I always say to people that passion won't always pay. Because sometimes you want to be passionate about something when the market will say something else. And I say to people now as young entrepreneurs as well, the last lesson is to say, always, as you do your research, always try and study the market. What is the market looking for? Because at that particular time, I did not even know what the market was looking for. At this stage now, I know that the biggest chunk of money in recycling comes from PET. And at that time, I was busy collecting boxes and thinking boxes are the ones with the biggest money. Had I known that PET, plastic had more money, and had I been advised and guided, as I said, which you need to find a mentor, I would have not even wasted my time with boxes. In fact, now I refer to other guys to say, the smartest people were the ones that you see on the road who collect these boxes. Because I see one time they are putting it in water to dampen it so it becomes more heavier. I didn't know about those tricks, but they were smart because they've been in the space and they've been in the space more than me. And then I think for me what's critical as well is that blunders will always be there. But lessons are what will maintain our success, and learning from your blunders. Because I always say that when you fail, you must fail forward. When you make blunders, make them, but don't stop moving. Because the ultimate goal rather is to make sure that at least in any business you start, in any entrepreneurship journey you get into, you have to find a mentor. You have to do research. You have to learn as much as you can. You have to all the time.